Hey, what's up everybody? It's TheHyphenate here, and today I'm going to show you guys how to easily control your Sony cameras with the DJI RS gimbals. Here you have various functions for the Sony camera that you can control. And whatever setting you've chosen can be controlled just by rotating this wheel left or right. Now the first option is to be able to change any focus or zoom. It's one or the other depending on what setting you have selected on your camera. You can also control the ISO, the aperture, the shutter. Now here I have the RS3 Pro, and then I have the A7 IV camera. Now with the RS3 Pro or the RS3, you can control various aspects of the Sony camera with the USB cable. Now there is a USB cable that is a Type-C, and there's also one that's a micro USB. Depending on your camera, it might have different ports. The most functionality comes from the USB Type-C port. So on my A7 IV, I have a USB-C. I'm gonna connect that with this cable into the gimbal. Now the first thing you're gonna wanna do is make sure that you have your camera set on your gimbal. Now it doesn't have to be fully balanced yet, but a rough estimate would be great. Take the included cable and go ahead and connect it. Now the other side of the USB-C, I actually put underneath the lens. I don't like having it on top where there's more of a mess. Now, as you can see here, there are 3 different USB ports. To control your camera's functions, you want to connect to the top USB-C port. All right, now that the cable's connected, go ahead and balance your camera on the gimbal. If you don't know how to balance it, I do have another video on this channel that shows you the exact process on how to balance your camera. I have a link for that video in the description. Now, before we do anything with the gimbal, we have to go into the settings of your Sony camera. You're going to want to go to the settings all the way at the bottom and go to your USB options. Then go into USB connection mode. Now, if you have select when connect, this prompt will show up as soon as the gimbal's turned on, and it'll ask you which mode you want, which we're gonna end up choosing PC remote. All right, now let's go back out of that. Then we're gonna wanna go to the network options, then go to transfer remote. There, you're gonna find PC remote function. Click on that. Now, if you have this set as off and then you connect the gimbal's gonna ask what you want to do with your USB mode. If you select PC remote, it'll automatically turn this on. Or you can manually turn it on here, and I already have it set for when you turn it on, it goes directly into PC remote. Personally, I like to have this off and then select PC remote when the gimbal's turned on. Now you want to go to your Bluetooth. You want to make sure that your Bluetooth function is off. If it's on, it's not going to work with the gimbal being connected via USB. So again, Bluetooth function off. All right, now I can go ahead and turn on the gimbal. And as you can see right there, select USB connect mode came up, and all you have to do is click on remote shoot PC remote. As soon as you click on remote shoot PC remote on the camera, you'll see a quick little prompt pop up that says that the camera control is active. Now the camera's on, the gimbal's on, and the camera has been fully balanced, and the collaboration has been done on the gimbal. To go ahead and start controlling the settings, all you have to do is swipe up, and then you can click on dial functions. Here you have various functions for the Sony camera that you can control. And whatever setting you've chosen can be controlled just by rotating this wheel left or right. Now the first option is to be able to change any focus or zoom. It's one or the other depending on what setting you have selected on your camera. If you have it set for manual focus, then just put your camera's focus mode into manual focus, and then you can go ahead and change the focus again just by rotating this wheel. You can also control the ISO, the aperture, the shutter, and the last 3 options pertain to the gimbal, the roll, pan, and tilt. Now you can only control one at a time. So let's say we want to control the ISO. We can go back out of the dial functions and go ahead and go back to the main menu. Now I know right here it might be hard to tell, but I'm going to crank up the ISO to very extreme so that this whole screen goes really bright. So just by rotating that wheel to the right, you can see I am adjusting the ISO in real time. Now I'm set to ISO 16,000. It doesn't rotate very fast. Like, it's very incremental, and it's kind of patient, to be honest. It does require a good amount of distance for it to start changing. So if you're trying to go from very low to very extreme ISOs, this is not going to be very fast. As you can see right here, I'm rotating a lot, and I'm barely going down like one setting at a time. It's not very responsive, to be honest. Now, if I want to switch to a different functionality, let's say, for example, I want to change the aperture, I just swipe back up, go into the dial functions, and then go ahead and choose aperture. And then now I can change the aperture. Now this is a lot more responsive. I can actually change that really quickly, but it does have this weird thing where when I rotate the dial really quickly, it does like these crazy jumps, and sometimes it goes back and forth. It's a little buggy, so you kind of really want to just do this in small increments. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on the shutter. Again, you can see it does go pretty extreme sometimes, and then sometimes it kind of moves back and forth. If you're making just small adjustments, then I think it works okay. Now the record button works flawlessly. So if I click on that, it starts recording right away. If I click on it again, stops recording. That response is great. It's just the rotating dial that's kind of a little bit annoying. Now, even though that wheel is a little buggy, the great thing about actually having this control functionality on the gimbal with this cable connected is that if you're using a wireless remote control made for these gimbals, or even if you're using the app, you can actually go into the camera settings and change it wirelessly so you can do it away from the gimbal. For example, right here, we're looking at the settings through the app. If I click on the shutter, I can go ahead and change that, and it starts to instantly do it on the camera. Now, this does not have a quick function to be able to choose which shutter speed you want quickly, so you have to kind of just tap left and right, the minus or the plus. I wish it would just give you like a drop-down menu with all the different options. Same goes for the aperture, ISO. But again, being able to control this wirelessly, say for example, you have this gimbal on a car mount or you have it on a crane, now you're able to control a lot of the camera functions just through the app or through a wireless remote control. So there you have it. That's how simple it is to connect your Sony camera to your RS3 or RS3 Pro gimbal and control various functions via USB. Hopefully this video helped you. If it did, please drop a like on this video, drop a comment below if you have any questions, and please make sure to subscribe. I have a lot more videos coming soon. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.